It is the 200 level. Mike Carpenter in the basement studio for what is annually the most annoying game on the Illinois basketball schedule. That's right. We're at Welsh-Ryan Arena in Evanston, Illinois. 75% orange in there tonight. And yet, this arena, this field house, there's just a pain in the butt. Yet, really strong finish to the half for Illinois in what was an up and down first half. The shooting wasn't there. Northwestern was making very annoying shots, as I'm sure they'll continue to do. Trust me, this is going to be a prickly podcast if there ever was one on the 200 level. But all that matters is this: win by a point, by 2 points. It doesn't matter. Northwestern's not good, but they were going to come out tonight guns blazing to the best of their abilities, at least, whatever that is. 0-5 in the Big Ten, 8-8 overall. This isn't shocking. Would I prefer a blowout? Yes. Is Illinois capable of running away with this in the second half? Yes. You're better. So I'm not disappointed per se with effort, more execution. And I think that there's been just enough stupid loose balls that have resulted in Northwestern gimmies, and there's just been just enough off to make this a 5-point game where otherwise you might hope it to be 10. Now, in fairness to Illinois, you're coming off a really good win at Iowa, and that's a win that's going to stick. That is a win in which you led the entire way, and while it got a little hairy at the end, you kept them at arm's length in a tough environment against an NCAA tournament team that really acclimated themselves well at Mackey Arena tonight. So this Illinois team, they got a lot of wins that are aging well. And this is one of those don't lose games, and what I'm going to dub Operation 3 Seed. That's what we're calling it, Operation 3 Seed. Not a 1, not a 2. Don't need it. Probably won't get it. You got Michigan probably slotted in as a 1, though I'm interested to see what happens at Washington tonight. But I think they're probably going to end up a 1 with the talent they have and the coaching they have. You can get a 3. Maybe even sneak into a 2 if everything goes well. But a loss like this would have you start talking 4 again. And I understand it's only January 14th, and a lot can change. But we've seen time and time again, whether it's our team or others, these are the kinds of losses that sting. It's the kind of win you forget. I want a forgettable win. That's it. It doesn't need to be anything, and we can be frustrated and annoyed while watching it, but all that matters is you win. That's it. So we're here to react live during the second half. If you recall last year or last season when Illinois played at Welsh-Ryan, we did our Hot Ones podcast. And that was in December of 2023, and that did not go well. Or was it December 2024? Excuse me. The Hot Ones was great. We were able to get all the way to the finish. I didn't hurl or anything. I had a case of the hiccups for a little bit, which spicy food will give me. But then Illinois lost in overtime to Northwestern. The year before that, I'm pretty sure they lost at Northwestern with yeah, they did. They lost at Northwestern. Terrence Shannon had come back. It was an incredibly frustrating game. I dropped my very first F-bomb in 200 level history, and I'm proud of it. I'm not. The year before that, the Matthew Meyer year, I don't know. Did we play up there? I'm sure we didn't. Lost. We're underway, by the way. Second half. So the last win at Welsh-Ryan apparently was the DeMonte Williams putback dunk with like a minute and a half to go. And that was the Big Ten championship team. That's the last time you won at Welsh-Ryan. Here's a take from Keaton Wagler to get things going. So it's 40-33 early on in the second half for Illinois. Good to see them immediately take it to the basket. There are not guys on the Northwestern team that should be able to consistently contain Wagler, Stojakovic, or Boswell going to the basket. Now, Boswell plays the passing lane and a nice feed down low. Tomi does not get a hand on an easy layup for Northwestern. Tomi with, shall we say, up and down. I mean, no, he's looking more alive. Okay, 7 points and 5 rebounds. We aren't going to get star Tomi immediately, it appears. Signs of life, yet a few plays where you're thinking, okay, what's going on with him? That one was just a little bit slow to get to his guy. With 19:05 to go, Wagler at the top of the perimeter, looking to break down Martinelli. The step-back 3 is up and good. Dude is ridiculous. So it's 43-35, and this is a game, guys, you can stretch a lead and hold them at arm's length. Are you going to win by 20? I'd be surprised. Can you win by 10 or 11 points? Yes. The spread, mind you, 9.5. KenPom had you winning by 9. This is a Northwestern team, as tough and annoying as they may be, lacks offensive firepower and frankly is not great defensively. So here's Martinelli, baseline, up, no good. And Illinois will get the board and a foul, actually, on Martinelli. I don't know how many that is on him. I think maybe just 2. Let's see here. Martinelli with, I think, just a second there. Maybe his first. We'll see. We'll get to the sponsors and everything in a bit, but good evening to all those watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter this evening. While you're there, like, follow, subscribe, whatever it may be as you're tuning in, and leave your comments. We'll get to them as we go through the game and watch it together. Here is Kylan with 18:15 to go in the half. Tomi rolls off the screen there. 1-3, but back to Kylan. 18:10 to go. Kylan over to Tomi. An open 3 is up, and that looked great. Very nice. 46-35, and that looked like the Tomi stroke from last year. The Tennessee game had a little bit of that, as Northwestern calls an early timeout. Tennessee game had that Tomi, which is what made this last month so confounding, but really good start to Illinois this half, and while we do have a break, let's hit up the sponsors. Hamilton Walkers, downtown Champaign, steak, seafood, and spirits for a date night, formal, informal dinner, pregame or postgame meal. Great spot in downtown Champaign where you can eat in the bar area if you're looking for a little more casual kind of vibe, or in the dining room. And it has everything from bone-in steaks, cooked to order, all the way down to a hamburger and fries for $20. So we are not talking outrageous prices. In fact, Hamilton Walkers is very reasonably priced for how good the food is and the service, which is second to none. And that while you're there, you can see my mug and Lon and Trevor and Harry's right behind the host stand from our Tay and Carp days. That is Hamilton Walkers in downtown Champaign. Also, State Farm agent Brian Hansen, online at brianismyguy.com for life, auto, home, business, renters, you name it. Brian is my guy, and he can be your guy as well at brianismyguy.com. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend. Give them a call at 217-841-4728 and join their maintenance program. No overtime or weekend fees, guaranteed same-day service, and you get a furnace check in the fall, AC check in the spring as part of that as well. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, 217-841-4728. Finally, Owen Builders, LLC, online at owenbuildersllc.com for your next home improvement project. Check out a gallery of their work online at owenbuildersllc.com. Great craftsmen, but it's their customer service, their ability to get back to you, set a timeline, get things done in a timely fashion that does separate them from some other contractors that you can get here in central Illinois. So that's Owen Builders, LLC. Champagne Showers Podcast Network, appreciate them and appreciate you for tuning in. And as always, the best way you can support us is support our sponsors. All right. Hello, everybody. And, okay. I was wondering about this. So the case of the David Mirkovich mystery number. He's number 52 tonight. Big Tota from the Illinois Loyalty Lurker message board there. I don't know if you lurk or you just post, or if you post or just lurk there, Big Tota, because I lurk there sometimes. So Mirkovich is wearing 52 apparently because he puked on number 0. I was wondering that myself and figured that was the only reason why, but as our good friend Kent Elmore says, David Mirkovich flu game. He's playing. I'm sure you feel better after you hurl, and I'm sure he'll feel worse in about an hour or two, but if you are to have the flu run rampant through your locker room, better now with Minnesota on Saturday and Maryland next Wednesday, 2 home games, mind you. The timing actually couldn't be better if you're going to let the flu run through you. So we are underway here a couple minutes into the second half. Keaton Wagler with a stone-cold 3, and then he opened the half with a take to the rim. Tomi with a 3 of his own. Illinois stretches their 5-point lead to 11 with 17:55 to go, and Northwestern has the ball. Now, I'm watching this game in the first half, and I'm already pre-annoyed. And what I mean by that is knowing that when I see that court and when I see the wild side, Martinelli 3 is up and good. When I see their fan section is called the wild side, fine. Not very imaginative, but annoying nonetheless. Now, the girl who used to do that really god-awful screaming in the background, I don't think she's there anymore. I didn't hear her in the first half. I just can't do Northwestern. And what I mean by that is, the 3 from Tomi is up. Look good, but Illinois looks to get the rebound. Stojakovic gets the board. Nice. They just drive me nuts. And it's more to the fact that Chris Collins, to his credit, has made them competitive against Illinois. And the fact that you haven't won there since 2022 is evidence of that. Time to get a W tonight. Wagler, 3, late in the shot clock. Boswell with a man's rebound, but he gets fouled on the take. and they're going to count it. Was it a foul or just goaltend? I think just goaltend. Okay, very nice. Boswell was really the key to the end of that first half. I think they said he either scored or assisted on Illinois' last 11 points, including the and one 4-point play. And, I'm watching the first 15 minutes of that first half and thinking, man, we need someone to just assert themselves. And he did that when it was needed the most. Martinelli does not get the 3. I got to say, this is what's frustrating me with Tomi tonight. I know he has 5 boards. But this big for Northwestern, that is at least the third, I believe, offensive board he's gotten over Tomi. That is very frustrating. You're 7-1, dude. And while the stats are better, and he does have 10 tonight, he has 10 points, 5 boards, I think. Objectively good, right, when you look at the stat sheet. But those second chance opportunities, as Wagler hits one from the free throw line, because why wouldn't he? That right there is where I've been wondering this last month. Is it so much a skill thing with Tomi as it is a mindset thing? But regardless, improvements. He is looking better. It's not going to be perfect just yet. Fine, I can accept that. A little foul on the take here for this little point guard, Reed, for Northwestern, who's a tough son of a gun. And I'm annoyed. I'm going to be prickly all podcast until we have them buried by like 20 points, which I don't foresee that happening, but we shall see. Now, we've been doing a lot of these live podcasts recently, and that has not given us the opportunity to talk some more macro things or react to news. A couple things in the way of news. Illinois football is going to have the largest scoreboard in college football, and that was announced yesterday, I believe, on social media. And sure, the $100 million from Geese, from what I understand, is mostly for facilities and other improvements with the program, not for NIL. I don't know if it can be even earmarked for that. So with that in mind, why not go big? I would assume that this includes the ribbon boards and all of that, and the cost as to what it takes out of that $100 million. It's hard to say. I've seen or heard, I should say, around 30 of that $100 million for all the video improvements, and I wouldn't be surprised if that includes sound as well. So that would sound like the going rate for something like that, and it does add to the game day experience. And I don't know if it helps with recruiting, but it doesn't hurt. It does make your stadium that much cooler, for lack of a better term. And I don't think it will be an eyesore necessarily. I'm kind of like that, we're in the south side of the main stand, so we're closer to it, and we'll get a great vantage point, and the sound, I'm sure, will be kicking out of that, which has been lacking compared to other college football environments maybe. But that's one thing. We also got a kicker, and I want to make sure I get his name right. He's returning to Illinois. It is Ethan Mikulski. And Ethan Mikulski, let's see if I can't get his stats here. He was the one, I believe, that was like your long threat as a field goal kicker in Olano's first year. I want to just make sure I get his kicking stats correct. He is coming over here from Washington. Let's see here. Washington as kicking. Where are the kicking stats? Here we go. 13. Well, no, he was a backup. That's right. So at Illinois, he kicked 1 field goal and 2 field goals and made 1. He didn't kick at all for Washington last year. Is he just here to compete? I don't know. We shall see. Overall, I think it's been a good start to Illinois' portal class, but there is going to need to be some work done on the defense. Munchowski, thank you. Munchowski, thank you. Isaac Ambrose in the house. All right. Let's get back to the task at hand for this Illinois Northwestern game. And we got about 150 folks in the early going here in the stream, so good evening to you all. Here is this little fella, tough son of a gun, Jaden Reed, I think his name is. He shoots the free throw. It is up, and it is good. So Northwestern brings it to a 9-point advantage for Illinois. And, yeah, they aren't going to go away. God. All I ask is as we go through this game, it doesn't get extended too long. And I know I make it sound like I don't enjoy these games. I enjoy these games. I just enjoy, nice, tight little 2-hour packages. And the first half was pretty quick, all things considered. So I think we can get this done before 9:30. All right, here's Merkovich wearing number 52. Kicks it across court to Tomi. Some good perimeter passing. Wagler driving it in, kicks it out to Jake Davis. The three open, but no good. It was short. And it caroms off a Jaden Reed, or Reed, I should say. I don't know if it's Jalen or Jaden. Misses a three pretty badly. And Tomi cannot corral the rebound. Now, again, looking alive. But I just feel like he's given some possessions to Northwestern. If that sounds nitpicky, I understand. But I feel like Tomi, from a few missed blockouts, something like that, and I know that was a weird carom off the rim, so that happens sometimes, but I just hate giving them second opportunities. Any team for that matter. Now it looks like we got to travel on this big page for Northwestern anyway. So we'll go back to Illinois with an 8-point lead and 15:31 to go. 4 turnovers to Northwestern, only 3 for Illinois. So as usual with Illinois, these are low turnover games on both sides. All right. Bringing it up court with 15:30 to go. What is this? We got a substitution. Okay, let's move it along. Merkovich going to inbound it. Look, a little bit of pressure look there from Northwestern, but they scale back. So 50-42 with 15:25 to go. Here's Boswell spelling Wagler from bringing it up court a little bit. Wagler gets it on the left side of the perimeter. Merkovich coming for a pick on the right. Wagler takes it, trying to navigate through. He does not get a foul call. Then he kind of dribbles into trouble. And that's going to be a rebound, though, for Illinois, and a fast break opportunity for Kylan. Just keep it, Kylan. No, he kicks it back to Wagler. The three is up and good. Okay, even better. I mean, this is why this kid is so freaking good. It reminds me of, there's a Chicago podcaster that works with Dan Bernstein, Matt Abaticola. And he loves Caleb Williams because one play to the next. Whatever happened before does not affect his next play. And I would say that's one of Caleb's strengths. When you see that from a freshman, where you go from a turnover from Wagler to a stone-cold three on a fast break, that right there is super impressive. He can test the shot, and Northwestern, unfortunately, gets a second chance here. Way too many of those tonight for them. But that kind of thing is something that is not at all what you would expect for someone his age. A 3 for Reed for Northwestern, and this is so freaking maddening. I'm sorry. Prickliness abounds. Stop giving them second chances. I got to see what their second chance point total is. And if any of you guys can effort that, it feels like way too freaking many. Way too many for a scrub team. And I'm sorry. They suck. I know they don't suck as much at home. I know they gave Rutgers a game. What they freaking do? Here's Wagler taking it in. He stops, gets his body into it, and no foul called. Reed does not take the bait, and Northwestern a chance to bring it back within 6 or 5. So, half-court set here from Northwestern, 13:35 to go. And I just want a nice, relaxing evening watching this game. Reed, oh my God, I'm going to vomit. Give me a bucket to vomit in as I see this 5'8". You got to be shitting me. It's just so annoying. I'm not even mad as much as I'm just annoyed. Jaden Reed. Yeah, he has 15 points. Yeah, right. That makes sense. I'll look up his season average. Oh, my God. I can't. We're stopping the game to what? Look at the clock. The wild side is going nuts before they go to their aeronautical engineering class at 8 in the morning. Yes. North Shore people don't bother me at all. If there's any North Shore folks listening, I appreciate you, though. I'm painting with a broad brush. Oh, my God. Clock under review. Brad is angry. I know that you aren't going to put these guys away, but I'm sorry. I can't shake the annoyance of playing this team. It shouldn't be this hard. It's not that hard for others. I know they competed at Michigan State. Michigan State played like dog shit that night, okay? They just did. I'm tired of giving a cookie to a guy, Chris Collins, who is just above a 500 coach. I'm tired of giving him cookies for that. I'm also tired of Brad Underwood's teams inexplicably not able to beat them at Northwestern. Now, I don't think Brad Underwood has lost to them at home. Pretty sure John Gross did once or twice. I don't know if Weber did. So, you still got that advantage, but the same way that Penn State drove me nuts back in the day, because it just seemed like, why are they so competitive with you? And then they overtook you for a bit. beat you like 7 out of 10 times or whatever ridiculous number. Come on. Yeah, and I say that understanding you aren't going to win every game and you're going to drop some frustrating losses. But you have way too much of a talent discrepancy to lose this game. So what Illinois has done so far is, I think, gut it out. My annoyance right now is not so much with Illinois' play. It could be better, yes. But, of course, tonight we're getting the 15-point explosion from Jaden freaking Reed. Because why wouldn't we? Kylan gets fouled on the take, so he'll go to the line for 2. But, like, if we were playing, for example, well, UCLA and USC both stink this year. They're in the 40s on KenPom. If you're playing them because there's not that history, I would be mildly annoyed. Not watching Jaden Reed. Oh, my God. I can't. Nothing bad happened. They just showed a replay, and I'm watching him. It's like, he's tough, whatever. I don't care. He scored the last 7 points for Northwestern. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know where Kylan was throwing it. And Northwestern has a break here and a chance to bring it within 6 points. It's 6 now, I should say. It can be a 3 or 4 point game at the end of this. Now, great job by Stojakovic getting the passing lane and a big turnover and kind of when you needed it. So the wild side wouldn't get too crazy and just turn that place into a madhouse. So 53-47 with 12:20 to go. Kylan with the ball over to the right side of the perimeter with Stojakovic. Stojakovic gets it stolen from guess who? Okay, well, that's a little bothersome. 3 from the corner for Northwestern is no good. And fortunately for you, Illinois gets the board. Okay, so Andre, where have you been? And this is somewhat, it's been one of his first not good games in a while. He's been on a pretty good heater for Illinois. 53-47. And Illinois ball, Kylan with the ball up top. They're giving Wagler a spell here. 232 scoring drop for Illinois. Here's Kylan trying to drive it. Good defense here from Northwestern. Kylan forcing it, but kicks at the corner. Jake Davis 3 is huge. He loves that corner spot. So it's back to a 9-point lead for Illinois. Sorely needed that with 11:30 to go. Yes, Stojakovic 4 points. He does have 6 rebounds. And he's played 19, so not a huge amount of playing time. But Jaden Reed, look out, over to Martinelli, and they get a foul on the floor. And it will be, or unless they got it on the Martinelli. Can one of you guys actually help me in the thread and let me know, was that a defensive foul or did they call Martinelli for a push-up or something? All right. What else do we got here? While we're got a break, hello to everybody in there. Quick reminder, Hamilton Walker's in downtown Champaign, steak, seafood, and spirits. Here's my thing. I go there, I get my old-fashioned, naturally. Usually either get a bone-in filet or the twin petite fillets, which are 2 3-ounce cooked however you want. I usually go medium. I know most steak aficionados are medium rare. Steak fries for a side. Either a green like asparagus or green beans if we're feeling healthy. And if we're feeling more comfort food, their mac and cheese is phenomenal. One of many things on their menu that's terrific. You know, I feel like when I go there, it's tricky because I got my favorites and I don't want to mess the success. But I know if I ventured out a little bit, it would all be good. But really appreciate their sponsorship. And if you were looking for a meal in downtown Champaign, look no further than Hamilton Walker. Tell them Carp sent you. And say who? Depending on who the host is. And I wouldn't blame them because it's not like I'm famous. I'm not. All right. We got a lot of action here in the chat thread. And we do have a foul on Dre. As in Andre. And for some reason, I read that and it took me a second. G bought to think, who's Dre? Who's Dre? Trey White? No. Which, by the way, Trey White is doing okay for Kansas this year, but I don't know what his role would have been on this team, especially when you have an Andre Stojakovic. I think that is an upgrade at your wing spot. A little bit different of players, but guys that are much better at attacking the basket than they are at shooting the 3. All right, real quick, while we do have the break, Bears-Rams gut feeling. The Bears are winning that game. It's a foregone conclusion. And I don't want to play the weather angle too much, but it is going to be really cold. And they have been practicing in the cold all week. And Ben Johnson's been doing that all winter, apparently. I know that might seem like, really, we're going to go with this bear weather thing. It's not about bear weather. Because Bears-Packers, that doesn't matter. Teams that are acclimated to it, it doesn't matter. It affects them equally. I think it will affect the Rams a smidge more than the Bears, but not just that. I don't know how good the Rams have been recently. I know they won at Carolina, and it took everything they had. Now, maybe that was knocking the dust off, and maybe they're going to get back into their midseason form. But the last month of the season, the Rams have not been the Rams that you saw in October and November. So I feel great. I love the fact it's the last game on Sunday in the evening. Soldier Field is going to be bananas. That stuff matters. And for some reason, I can't shake the feeling I had before the Rams game back in the Matt Nagy season. And that was a Sunday night football game in December, and the Bears shut them out 15-0. Now, that's not going to happen. I can guarantee you we're not shutting out this Rams team. I just feel like the mojo is there enough for them to win that game. What I'm interested in as well is Saturday to see what the Niners do with Seattle, because I don't know. I know Seattle's been a juggernaut this year, but do you trust Brock Purdy, who's won these playoff games before, or Sam Darnold? Despite all the injuries, can the Niners get it done? All right, we're back to action here. Northwestern misses a shot. Martinelli with kind of a weird floater from the free throw line. So with 11 minutes to go, Illinois leads by 9, 56-47. And Wagler got his few minutes of rest there, and he will be back on the court, I presume, for the rest of this game. He's driving down the lane, and what a take and one. He is so freaking good, man. So freaking good. All right, so the lineup out there right now includes Keaton Wagler, Jake Davis, Big Z, and Ben Amrickow. So kind of big. And is Stojakovic out there too? I need to see who the other guy is. But big lineup regardless for Illinois. I'll get back on who the fifth guy is here. I mean, Jake Davis is playing back from the free throw line. So Wagler with 12 points already this half. And it is Kylan Boswell out there as well. So you got basically Wagler at the 1, Boswell at the 2, Davis at the wing, and then you have Amrickow and Big Z down low. I will say this, man, if Ben Amrickow scored this year, holy moly. He has been doing everything but scoring consistently. And when I say scoring consistently, it doesn't mean as one of your main scoring threats, but if he were just a bit more efficient with his limited opportunities, holy moly. His efficiency defensively, I presume, is really good. He's been a great rebounder. Inexplicably this year, a great rebounder. And he's flying around on the court. So if we just scored a little bit more. Now, Illinois looks to be given a different look. Is this a zone? Kind of looked like it. They're moving around okay and adjusting, but we have a foul on the floor, so that's fine. That's going to be Ben Amrickow on the baseline. And Northwestern will take it, I think, from under the basket. So we got 10:29 to go. And inbounds, well defended so far from Illinois. They got to kick it out to the perimeter. So with 15 on the shot clock, Northwestern sets up a possession. Here's Reed, Illinois giving his own look. Amrickow pops up. Martinelli, nice cut to the basket, but a better rebound from Ivasic, Big Z, I should say, but tied up by Northwestern. So good effort. Big Z fell down, but only because it got tied up. So, yeah. What was it? 2 travels he had against Iowa. Big Z's giving you some energy. He's an imperfect player, but I'll take that guy for 15 to 20 minutes a game and feel pretty darn good about that being your backup center. That's really, really good. All right, so here's Northwestern offense. Illinois, he's still giving a bit of a different defensive look here. Good no call and a big block from Big Z after an offensive board from Northwestern. So that's something that Illinois will need to clean up after this game. They have regressed in this matchup, at least, with cleaning up defensive boards. Too many second chance opportunities, but Big Z eliminates that second chance. So here's Wagler, top of the perimeter. He wants the step back 3. Are you? Wow. 62-47. He is a superstar. It is just unbelievable. God dang it, man. And yeah, Zara, he's gone. He's a lottery pick. We're watching a kid blossom in a lottery pick. And do you have any doubt that he's going to be successful in the NBA? He's doing this at 18, 19 years old. The poise that he has is just going to absolutely wow these teams that already like his measurables probably. And yeah, Reed with a difficult baseline jumper. It's a 13-point lead, so I can kind of laugh at it. But it's just ridiculous. And they're going to get a foul on Wagler. Did Reed steal this? They are going to call that a steal. I can't. What is this shit? I would give him credit, but he's wearing purple. I don't want to. I should. I don't have it in me to give him the credit. You know, like I don't understand that. Oh, you know that someone's going to pop out. And please tell me, is Reed a freshman? What year are we looking at here? Can we just be done? I can't. How do they continue to just manufacture these absolutely annoying? You know, there's one guy who did not annoy me that much from Northwestern. I really had no beef with Boo Booey. I really did not. Okay, so what's Reed doing this year? He does have some pretty good numbers. He's a junior. He's tough. He came from South Florida, so a good pickup in the portal. And he's from Westbury, New York, so East Coast thing I can get. Okay, I don't hate Jaden Reed. Fine. He's fine. Czar says, right, Reed, a check to come south. You know, if we were to do that, Czar, for every player that has a good game against Illinois, we might be looking, oh, gosh, Keaton. They're going to get him on a hook and hold again. Potentially. I mean, how angry can I be at Keaton Wagler? But that would be 2 games in a row here. So he's going for it, and I don't know. That's a little more vague than what we saw at Iowa. That was like blatant. The player's under review, and who, by the way, Big Tota is appealing this? I would assume Northwestern is. Or is it Illinois appealing it, saying Northwestern fouled them? But yeah, you know what it is, Big Tota? I think that with these appeals, I guess I appreciate the fact that you can do that. But the whole challenge thing, just it slows things to a snail's pace. And my thing is this: if you're going to do this, it should be for egregious, obvious things. And if it's not obvious on the first watch, then move on. I mean, if you can't make up your mind, there should be a timer on this. You got 30 seconds to decide if this is accurate or if this is worth overturning. And if not, then fine. From our good friend Kenton, by the way, the medieval time style new Northwestern jerseys, they're lame, right? Yes, they're lame. Of course they are. Who would ever buy or wear one of those? Upgraded to flagrant. Yeah, that's two plays in a row, man, or 2 games in a row. That is a hook and hold. So you go from a 15-point lead, and that's got to be coached out of them. I'm not sure if it's an NBA thing. It might be where that is allowed in the NBA. But first off, you turn the ball over. Okay. Secondly, you do the hook and hold for the 2nd game in a row at a time in the game where you can put your foot on the proverbial neck of this team. Now, Reed's going to make both of these. And I know it wasn't the most obvious of hook and holds, but it was there. I mean, just enough. And I don't know if the rest remember what happened at Iowa, but it wouldn't surprise me. So now we're down to 11-point game. The wild side going nuts. And I just don't, you know what it is? I know that Illinois doesn't have maybe the fan section of, or the size of a fan base of like a Michigan Wolverines or something like that, or some other big powerhouses. But I just know in my heart of hearts, how many Northwestern people care? Come on. How many do? So it's just so aggravating. I've had this thought since I was a kid. It's so immature, admittedly. But when I'm watching my team play these guys, I'm like, oh my God, they're so freaking annoying. 3 for Northwestern is up, and it's no good. And it's going to be caromed off in another second chance opportunity for Northwestern. Reed for 3. Now, he makes it. You knew that. You were letting, again, a guy go off. Your defense against Martinelli has held them at bay. So that is a credit to this defensive thing. But what we see time and time again is this sort of, a guy's going on a heater? Well, that's just what it is. And that is maddening. It's going to be a 6 or 5-point game here if Illinois doesn't get a stop because Wagler gets no foul call on that. What just happened? A T? Is this on Underwood? Now, let's talk about Underwood. You guys know where I'm at with Underwood. He is great at getting talent. He's great at macro, like, all right, here's our systems, and Orlando. Who's Orlando? Antigua, duh. Okay, Orlando, you're not here for your big brain. You're here to get dudes and to shut your pie hole. You don't need to be the one talking to the refs. So zip it. You're making a lot of money to go get dudes, and that's it. Shut your mouth, please. Win the game, it doesn't matter. But I'm sick of this shit where you continue to let these big leads slip at Northwestern. It happened with the Elite Eight team. So and you guys are arguing if it was a goaltender or not. It's about to be a 5-point game. It was 15 before that. So excuse me if I get a little frustrated with the Brad Underwood experience when I see a bunch of dudes on draft boards getting punked. And then today I see a clip of Brad Underwood on the field of 68 talking about the Pizza Hut parking lot again. And it's funny because I'm watching this team and I'm like, they're skilled. And I think they have mental fortitude. But it's okay. You don't need to pretend like you're the toughest team in the West when I don't know if you necessarily are. Tomi threes an air ball. Keaton Wagler gets boxed out by his own guy, Murkovic, and Illinois has the ball with 7:15 to go. And a take, no good, but a nice putback from Tomi. It's a 7-point game again. So, as you said here, G-Bot, I mean, never calls a timeout. It's one thing to, I understand, not pull the lever and freak out. Read, makes a shot. Make an adjustment. Holy shit. And he's going to just sit there and let this guy cook and make it a close game. You might win, but this is what I'm talking about, and it's so maddening. So I said I'd just be kind of prickly, kind of like annoyed. No, I'm a little bit angry right now. All that matters is you get the win, and we can move on, and I'd say learn from our mistakes, but I don't necessarily know if that's the case. Now, Tomi with a huge make and an and one. But you have now let a guy in this read go for what? 25. And if he says something in the press conference to the effect of, well, we'll let a guy cook. You're basically like what he said after Sanford in the Nebraska game. That's something I cannot abide by. I don't understand this idea that it's okay to let one guy cook. What happens when you let one guy cook and make no adjustment on him is you just significantly, I would think, decrease your margin of error. Jaden Reed might be their second best player. Fine. But if he's got 25 and you know you got another threat in Martinelli, all of a sudden they have a formula for an upset. And not a damn thing is done about it. So this is why I don't listen to his press conferences. I'm kind of beyond that in year 8 or 9 or whichever it is for Underwood. You hear enough things, and coaches, there's only so much they can say. So it's not just an Underwood thing. I wouldn't watch Tom Izzo press conferences. I mean, I guess he's charismatic and funny and nice enough guy when I met him, but I mean, I'm not in the business of that anyway. But I know for a fact he's addressed that sort of thing as, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's not. I think regardless of who's scoring that many points, it's a big deal. I kind of equate this sometimes to, so I'm a Yankees fan, world's smallest violin, I know. And the Yankees are all about analytics, and they're all about efficiency, and they got zero rings to show for it. And I feel like what has happened is sports has went away from the old school kind of coaching of kind of like gut feels and, the things that were not scientific. They were like intangible. You couldn't see some of those things, right? To a more analytics-based model. And I get that and I appreciate that because those analytics, guess what, are very predictive. Ken Pom, for example, there's been no champion in the last 15 years that has not been top 20 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. Some crazy stat like that. And usually, if you go back in the history of Ken Pom, it is eerie how many times the number 1 or number 2 team gets that national title. So they're incredibly accurate with it, which shows you it does matter. It does. So that part of it, I have no qualms with Brad Underwood. No qualms whatsoever. But why can't you marry those analytic ideas the offensive efficiency of which you've been great, and improved defense in many respects. Why can't you marry those with a few buttons that good coaches seem to be able to push? That's what I feel is lacking. And the difficult thing in trying to critique something like that is I don't have much in the way of concrete things I can point at and say this, that, or the other. I do have the March losses in the tournament, and I have enough anecdotal losses in the Big Ten, despite a really good overall Big Ten record, to say, well, man, that's a lot of weird drops. And in fairness to this team, they haven't had one of those this year, technically, the way Nebraska's playing. That loss ages better and better if a loss can do that. You do have an 8-point lead here, though, and a steal. So Illinois with a chance to extend this. Keaton is going to try to take it. He does, but he gets blocked. And he's kind of forcing things here. And I think as much as I've seen him get flustered despite the output, this is a little bit of not humble pie, perhaps. 0-3 for Northwestern from a guy who I don't even know if he shoots threes. Illinois does not get the board. This is unbelievable. So I don't want to hear about Pizza Hut parking lot. I know that after the Nebraska game, practices got tough. What would be great is if you can get the win here, and then it is a reset button that reminds you how tough you got to be. But right now, they just took a layup right around Tomi. It is a 6-point game with 5:35 to go. So it's games like this. If you're saying, Carp, you're freaking nut, man, you got to chill. I would understand that. But this many years into it and this many kind of repeats of weird lapses and opposing players going for these record nights, there's just enough for me to wonder, what buttons are at his disposal to push. Here's a counter to myself, if I can be fair. A counter to myself would be, well, what if every program deals with this? And that might be true. There is a better than 50% chance that's true, I would imagine. But it just seems to happen enough with this very talented program for me to wonder, what the heck? Now, this is an amazing little in and out. Keaton cannot make it. Merck tries to go for the board, but it caroms off too far. So some good ball movement, but Keaton does not make the three. And it's honestly been a bad few minutes for Keaton. Not just by his standards, but a couple turnovers, hook and hold foul, a block shot, a missed three. That's a great look. Great passing. Got to nail it. Even though he is your freshman. But, yeah. 5:02. Northwestern with the take. Little dribble drive. Here is Martinelli. Up and no good. Fortunately, no good. But he will go to the line to try to get this closer. And Northwestern has 12 offensive boards. Thanks for the stat, G-Bot. That's ridiculous. Again, just yesterday, Brad Underwood was talking about Pizza Hut parking lot. I don't want to hear that shit. I am tired. I am so tired of these platitudes from this guy. I don't see the toughness. I'm sorry. I see immense talent and skill. And I saw a little bit of toughness to keep Iowa at bay because Iowa is a really good team, and that's a quality win. So why is it different? Is it just a letdown game? Maybe. It doesn't have to be, though. And that's just, it doesn't have to be. So Illinois with the ball up 4 with 4:52 to go. Win this game. And I'm sorry, even if they win this game, I'm keeping those criticisms and I'm standing by him. I am not going to feel uber confident despite what I look at and say, God dang, this team's really talented. Now we see Boswell, who's been a dude tonight, with a nice take there to go up 69-63. 4:30 to go. And I'm going to briefly look away from the comments because I know some of you guys are ahead of it. So, Terry, you keep posting. You got the live feed, but I'm doing the old Hulu 20-second delay here. Martinelli, Boswell. Pumped. Gets the steal and very emotive out there. I love that. He would be in a Pizza parking lot. I'm just saying, as the team and the collective, you gave up 12 offensive rebounds already tonight. Come on. Finish strong. Get the win and get the hell out of here. Boswell gets fouled. And that means for Illinois, they'll get the ball after this under 4 timeout, but not bonus yet. How are you guys doing in there? We got about 200 folks throughout the streaming services, so Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. While you are there, go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I would agree with Isaac here. Flexing during a play is so dope. Isaac, you are exactly right. I can't recall the last time I saw an Illinois player flex while the play was going on. I mean, Kylan's been fantastic tonight. He has been. Let's see. From Matt. Yeah, I think I might need to do this. Get YouTube TV, bro. Big Tota agrees. I know. But Hulu Live has the Disney and the Blave and whatever. I don't know. It's these streaming services is paying the butt. Matt says, are you worried you're not going to catch all your Handmaid's Tale on Hulu? Fair. You know, other than sports, I don't know what I have Hulu for. I need to get, and I know this is illegal, and I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I need to get a VPN and one of those like jailbroken Fire Sticks or whatever. I may have a friend who does this and just have everything at my disposal. All right. As we have the final media timeout and the ball up 6, Hamilton Walkers, downtown Champaign, steak, seafood, and spirits. Go there. Old-fashioned if you're a whiskey drinker. My wife likes martinis, vodka or gin, depending on her mood. And they have great martinis there as well. Excellent cocktails all around. And bone-in steak, medium steak fries, mac and cheese if you want more comfort food aesthetic, or maybe asparagus if you're looking to, watch the LBs in this new year. Whatever you get, though, it is the best dining experience in Champaign-Urbana at totally reasonable prices. That's the thing. It's like a 5-star dining experience, but you are not going to break the bank going there at Hamilton Walkers. So we appreciate them. Along with State Farm agent Brian Hansen, online at brianismyguy.com. For life, auto, home, business, renters, you name it, Brian is my guy and can be your guy as well. But Brian is our guy. My guy, .com. What tripped me up there is I say so often, because it's true that Brian is our guy, but he can be your guy at brianismyguy.com. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend. Give them a call at 217-841-4728 and join their maintenance program. No overtime or weekend fees, guaranteed same-day service with Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing. And finally, Owen Builders, LLC, online at owenbuildersllc.com for your next home improvement project. Check out a gallery of their work online at owenbuildersllc.com. We are underway here with 3:53 to go, and Illinois ball up 6. Quick look at the scoreboard. Wagler does have 18, but his efficiency a little bit lower tonight, 7 for 16, and he has, I think, a decent number of turnovers. Illinois baseline out of bounds. Boswell finds Tomi. And Illinois calls a timeout. After a media timeout. And they could not inbound it. I'm just going to let that sit there. Kylan with 13 points, so not gaudy statistics, but he has been efficient tonight. 6 for 10. He does have 4 boards, 6 assists. Turnovers, 2. Keaton with only 2 turnovers, which is interesting to me. It feels like more, which might be quite the credit to him, that 2 turnovers for a point guard, that high usage, feels like a lot. That is definitely indicative of how good he's been this year. Stojakovic has been a no-show. And is he even out on the court right now? 21 minutes, 4 points, and 6 boards. You would have thought this could have been a matchup he could have exploited. Merkovich, despite being 6, does have 6 points, 3 boards. He is out there right now. Tomi with 15 and 6. 6 for 13, 2 for 8 from 3. God, I would love him to get one more big shot here and hope that could be some sort of catalyst for the rest of the way. All right. From GVOD, the big anomaly tonight is the Illini with only 6 free throws attempted. Northwestern 13 for 15. Northwestern has sort of turned it around on you, no doubt. And that's a credit to them, but also just a lack of execution from Illinois. That this far into the game, guys, come on, figure it out. Now, you are still up 6. We got 5 to go on the shot clock. Kylan's going to, I think, just shoot one up from the baseline. Tough look. Northwestern ball with 3:30 to go. And here's Reed. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Don't pucker up now. We are even with rebounds with Northwestern, 30 apiece. Ridiculous. All right, here's number 8. I don't know who that is. Nice take. No foul. Great defense from Jake Davis, who is getting late minutes because you can trust him. And that's not saying, I mean, him playing over Stojakovic is really interesting right now Is it a message being sent? Perhaps. Do I mind Jake Davis being out there? No, not the way he's playing. And he's a three-point threat. Looks like he might get an opportunity here because, well, here's Tomi. Whew, there we go. I was hoping he could have that big shot, and that's a huge one. 9-point lead with 2:45 to go, 72-63. All right. Illinois 6 for 11 this half, Northwestern 3 for 8. So that is sort of settled down a little bit when Northwestern started the game red hot. I mean, 3 for 8 is not bad, of course. But all right, here is Martinelli. How many god dang steps is he going to get there? Fell on the floor. He'll go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1, but like he just barreled his way through there. I mean, Illinois defensively has done a good job on him tonight. So it's like, well, why is this a game that is still kind of in doubt? It's because of Jaden Reed. It's like, well, did you really need to let him go off for 25? If it sounds like I'm being a perfectionist, fine. But I think that urgency, if you will, Martinelli makes his first. That urgency is that this team is loaded. And it's not me just saying that. It is the NBA draft boards that are suggesting this team is loaded. It is Brad Underwood himself that speaks to the depth of this team. They are capable of making a run. But what you really want to do is get a few quality wins and avoid the bad losses, and you'll probably find your way to a 3 seed. So right now it's a 7-point lead with 2:30. Operation 3 seed still fully underway. And Illinois needs to close this thing out to keep this operation afloat. It's a long season, I know. They can overcome that as they did 2 years ago with a loss at Northwestern much later in the season, but every game counts. It's cumulative. It adds up. So 5 on the shot clock. Keaton might have to settle here. Nope, he finds Tomi. Open 3. Unbelievable. How did Northwestern sag off Tomi like that? 2-man game. That's the look you want. Whether it was Keaton taking it himself off the pick or Tomi rolling left, wide open, the same spot he hit the last one. Excellent execution from Illinois. Great action. And I don't know what Northwestern was doing there. But that's okay. That's because you're better than them. That's because you're better than them. The wild side is quiet. You've quieted the raucous wild side at Welsh-Ryan Arena. But Tomi with 21 points, 8 for 15, 6 boards. There's been a couple on the defensive boards that have led to second chances for Northwestern. But when you get a 21-point game from Tomi after the struggles he's had, man. And this is what's fun. And this is why I love the roster of this team and why I have no qualms with the way that Brad Underwood has assembled this roster. Last year, there were issues. The Matthew Meyer year, there were issues. We talked about them here. But what I've not talked about once this season is, you know what? In this offseason, they should have got this guy, that guy, or the other guy. They should have gotten a wing that can do this. Or a guy that, no. This roster is balanced. And the sign of that is that in a given night, you can have a 4-point performance from Andrei Stojakovic, who coming into the season I thought was going to be potentially your leading scorer. And no big deal. We got Tomi, or we got Keaton Wagler, or we got Kylan Boswell. Sick David Merkovich, there's nights where he can go up for 15. Ben Murkow's still waiting on it. I mean, I know he's capable of a three-point game somewhere, but all right. And Matt, I would agree with this. There's no head cases. I mean, I would, in a general sense, I would agree with that. I hate to call KJ last year a head case, but he was a little aloof, shall we say. Now, I don't think I'm going to like what's going to happen on this play because it looks like, oh. So all of that. And guess who? A 3-pointer for Jaden Reed. Now, riddle me this. I got a bad stream quality for a second here. I think that was Merkovich that closed out on him. I don't understand why flu game David Merkovich is out there and why, when you're up 10, would you not have Ben Henrichhouse out there, who I think you trust more on defense. And how much offensively are you getting from Merkovich anyway tonight? Now, Wagler is probably just going to have to take this up himself. He's driving it to the free throw line. Unbelievable finish. Unbelievable. Uses his body, all of that. Quick timeout from Brad. So it is back to a 9-point game. Back to this idea I mentioned earlier about how, Keaton has this ability with the few not so good plays he has to wipe it. wipe it from his memory and have zero impact on his next play. That is a massive credit to him. All right. 9-point lead here. And replay that. So some of the Keaton Wagler shots tonight. But this last one, bullied his way to the rim. Just deceptively strong. Imagine if you're a Michigan fan, 10:42 Eastern tip. I actually think Illinois, the latest tip they have this year is an 8 or 8:30 out west. 8 or 8:30 Central. So that's not bad. Jaden Reed with 20 second-half points. Keaton Wagler with 18. You might say, well, see, it happens to every team. Yeah, well, the difference is Keaton Wagler is a lottery pick, and Jaden Reed is not. So Keaton Wagler can go for 18 and a half. Jaden Reed cannot go for 20. Stop letting that happen. 3 is no good. Illinois gets the board. 1 minute to go. Up 9. Time to ice it. And Reed will probably come up. We'll try to do a trap at half court, but nothing going. And it looks like they're almost acquiescing here. Northwestern. Not fouling. Clock rolls. And the Illini fans standing and cheering. And one more basket will 100% do it. Here's Keaton. Still no foul. Unbelievable. He got fouled with like 5 seconds of the shot clock with 40 seconds to go in the game. And he turns around from the foul and just launches up this acrobatic side-angled three-point shot, and it damn near went in. And then Chris Collins is saying, what are you doing? They spent 25 seconds, and then they fouled him. Well, put this game on ice. It's a 3-possession game already, and one more free throw makes it a 4-possession game. The wild side is deathly quiet. Up and good for Keaton. Deathly quiet. And you know that it's just going to be, they don't give a shit. Who am I kidding? Come on. If they're Northwestern fans, stop. They don't care. And it's okay. Honestly, it might be better for your health to not care. Keaton makes both. 11-point lead for Illinois with 40 to go. Here comes Jaden Reed. Oh, boy. Driving down the lane, kicks it back out. 3 for Martinelli is up and no good. Illinois gets the board, and Illinois is going to dribble this out. So they will get the win, and they will cover. An 11-point win, 79-68 as the clock is winding down. Their first win at Northwestern since the Big Ten championship year. Frustrating moments? Yeah. When Jaden Reed scores damn near 30, frustrating. When Northwestern gets it within, I think, 4 or 5 at one point, frustrating. However, here's the takeaway. A, you won. B, you won by double digits. C, that is 2 straight road games, which I viewed Iowa Northwestern as sort of the swing of this stretch, because it's really the only possibly competitive games that you had. Minnesota should not be a problem Saturday. I know it's an early tip-off. If it's a problem, we got a problem. Maryland next Wednesday, they stink. And I know it's Maryland, but it should not matter. As this buzzer sounds and Illinois wins 79-68, you won 2 road games in tough little environments. Not the toughest, but tough enough. And Keaton Wagler with 20 points in the second half, despite a couple turnovers and the hook and hole, they got 1 shot blocked, is a dude. He is the dude. And he is surrounded by dudes. This team is loaded. We don't need to pretend otherwise, and we don't need to say, well, you know, they got what are their really objective flaws in terms of roster construction? What are their big flaws? Would you say not athletic enough or not speedy enough? Maybe, but I don't know. Just because they aren't, you know, constantly turbo doesn't mean that they aren't athletic enough. I don't know what they are. So it is okay to have high expectations. I think you should with this team, and that is a credit to Brad Underwood for building this roster. These are the guys that he went out and got. The evaluation of Keaton Wagler is crazy good stuff from Brad Underwood and worth like $1 million bonus alone because of what that kid's doing for you this year. You got a great roster. Don't waste it. And how you don't waste it is getting that good seed in the tournament. When frustration amps up, it's because it's like, oh, don't let this be the loss that hurts your 3 seed chances. Don't let it be that. And they didn't. So I will say, despite my criticisms levied towards him, credit to him and this team for getting this one tonight and closing it out. And closing it out when it mattered. So, you know, I've been honest about it on this podcast. I mean, it's being the gratitude of knowing that your program is relevant. Why? Because of Brad Underwood. He has made it relevant. But you get to a different plateau. And it's kind of the same way that Pittsburgh Steelers fans. From afar, I'm looking like, are you guys crazy? Wanting Mike Tomlin to leave? It's Mike Tomlin. But then they say, hey, man, we've been here for a while. This is what we're feeling like. And okay, fine, you're Pittsburgh fans. You get to be a little bit more in tune with it. Are you perhaps too close to it? Am I perhaps too close to it? And sometimes are my criticisms too strong? That is arguable. I'd have a debate about that. But I do think this is not necessarily debatable. This is a very talented team. This is a very efficient team. They are 6 on KenPom. You might say, well, it's January 14th. I don't think there's any reason this team can't keep getting better. So for me, when I say a 3 seed, that's damn near settling compared to the talent you have. But get me in a bracket where you don't face a 1 until the Elite 8. And I feel like you got a damn good shot at maybe making a Final Four. Or worst case, a second weekend. Which even at that point, would say, hey, Brad, mission accomplished. And if you lose a heartbreaker in the Sweet 16 or, Elite 8, that happens. Single elimination tournament, that's going to happen. But all in all, frustrations aside, as they happen in the moment, 2 big wins in a row, 2 very easy on paper, but come on, get it done at home to get you then to 16-3 going into Purdue next Saturday. And then shoot your shot. What the hell? All right. Hey, I appreciate you all tuning in on this evening. Before we go, let's see if there's any more. Wow. From Big Toe to 4-0 on the road for the first time since 04-05. And from GVOD, it looks like we will survive the dreaded Wild Side. What a lame fan section name, the Wild Side. From David, Wagler getting mugged all night. It was the most physical defense he's faced, and I'm surprised they didn't call more fouls than Northwestern, but that's how it was being called. Really, I mean, both teams just snuck into bonus, I think. As Isaac said, we covered. And as my good friend Ken said, nice acquiesce drop for any Oasis fan out there. All right. Well, hey, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in on this Wednesday evening, and we're going to be back for another live one on Saturday, or should we do... Let's do Sunday. I've been doing these live ones, and they're great for road games especially, but for an early tip at home against Minnesota, let's do one Sunday, and it'll help me pass the time before the Bears game. And that way we can kind of recap where we're at, hopefully at that point 15-3. But this has been a really good response from this team since Nebraska. And yes, a lot of that credit does go to Brad Underwood. I'm going to criticize. I'm going to give credit. It's boom, 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 like a little volley, right, back and forth. Understanding that he's raised the bar immensely here. Okay, well, now that we have, let's make hay with it. This is a damn good team. It is a damn good team. So let's accomplish some things this year and just keep stringing these wins together. Keep on stringing them and then get that good seed and make a run. Easy enough, right? Of course, it's not easy, but this team has some really enticing things going for it. All right, everybody. We'll see you Sunday morning around lunchtime, something like that, to do a kind of recap as to where Illinois basketball's at. We'll do some football talk as well, and then we'll get back to the live podcast maybe next Wednesday and certainly for the Purdue game. But appreciate you all tuning in, and on your way out, if you can like, follow, subscribe wherever you're watching. Hamilton Walkers, State Farm agent Brian Hansen, Owen Builders LLC, and Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Whew, an hour of talking. Thanks for listening to me yapping over here, and have a great rest of your week. Go Bears, even though we'll talk to you before that Bears game, and we will see you in just a few short days. It is the 200 level.